Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 19, Text 4. Anmito Brahma Sharvabhyam Lokapale Sahanuge Upagiyamano Gandharve Munibis Chapsarogane. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. When Lord Vishnu appeared in the sacrificial arena, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and all the chief predominating personalities of every planet, as well as their followers, came with him. When he appeared on the scene, the residents of Gandharva Loka, the great sages, and the residents of Apsara Lok all praised him. So Lord Vishnu has come with the followers. Siddha Vidya Dhara Daitya Danava Goya Kadaya Sunanda Nanda Pramukha Arshada Pravara Hare. The Lord was accompanied by the residents of Siddhalok and Vidyadhar-lok, all the descendants of Diti and the demons and yakshas. He was also accompanied by his chief associates, headed by Sunanda and Nanda. So does anyone remember where is the Lord now? What is happening right now? As we read yesterday, Pṛthu Maharaj is doing the Ashwamedha Yagya. So, Kapilo Narado Dato Yogesha Sanakadaya Tam Anviyur Bhagavata Yecha Tatsevanot Sukha. Great devotees who are always engaged in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as well as the great sages named Kapila, Narad, and Dattatreya, and masters of mystic powers, headed by Sanak Kumar, all attended the great sacrifice with Lord Vishnu. So we can see that at that time, actually the Lord would come. The demigods would come, the great personalities would come in those ages where the sacrifices would be performed. In this age, the only sacrifice that is recommended in the scriptures is the sacrifice of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Yatra Dharma Duga Bhumi Sarva Kama Duga Sate Dogdi Smabhipsitan Arthan
Arthan
Yajamanasya Bharata.
Yajamanasya Bharata.
My dear Vidur, in thy great sacrifice, the entire land came to be like the milk-producing Kamadhenu, and thus, by the performance of yajna, all daily necessities for life were supplied. In this verse, the word Dharma Duga is significant, for it indicates Kamadhenu. Kamadhenu is also known as Surabhi. Surabhi cows inhabit the spiritual world, and as stated in Brahma Samhita, Lord Krishna is engaged in tending these cows. Surabhir abhipalayantam. One can milk a Surabhi cow as often as one likes, and the cow will deliver as much milk as one requires. So the Surabhi cow lives in the spiritual world. Golok Vrindavan is full of Surabhi cows. Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahmaji says in his prayers in the Brahma Samhita. And he's saying that Lord Krishna, what is he doing in Golok Vrindavan? He's tending to these cows. He's a cowherd boy in the spiritual world. So Surabhi is also called Kamadhenu, and the speciality is it can give one as much milk as is needed. Milk, of course, is, and so that's the reason we do not have Surabhi cows now. Because Krishna knows we are going to, misuse them. So that's why we are not, like if you keep a full packet of chocolates in front of a kid, he's going to gobble it up. So the parent is very careful not to give that. They might ration, give them a little bit at a time. So that's the reason Krishna does not give us these things. He knows we are going to misuse it. But in the spiritual world, nobody misuses. Milk, of course, is necessary for the production of so many milk products, especially clarified butter, which is required for the performance of great sacrifices. Unless we are prepared to perform the prescribed sacrifices, our supply of the necessities of life will be checked. Bhagavad Gita confirms that Lord Brahma created human society along with yajna, the performance of sacrifice. Yajna means Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and sacrifice means working for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What does sacrifice mean?
Working for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yeah, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that karmani evadhikaraste. You have a right to perform your work, but you have no right to the results. The results are for Krishna. That is work and sacrifice, karma yoga. Here the same thing is being repeated. Sacrifice means working for the Supreme Lord, means we work and we offer the results to Krishna. Yajna means Lord Vishnu. Sacrifice means working for him. So in this age, however, it is very difficult to find qualified brahmanas who can perform sacrifices as prescribed in the Vedas. Therefore, it is recommended in Srimad Bhagavatam, Yagya Sankirtana Praye, that by performing Sankirtan Yagya and by satisfying the Yagya Purush, Lord Chaitanya, one can derive all the results derived by great sacrifices in the past. So we can see here Pṛthu Maharaj is sacrificed. Lord Vishnu has also come. Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, the Narad Muni, all the Vidyadhara Loka people, the Siddha Loka people, Sanat Kumar, the Kumaras have come. Do we have the capability to call such great personalities in this life, in this Kali? We don't. But we are told that just by doing the Sankirtan Yagya, we can get the same result as one could get by performing such great sacrifices. So Krishna is so kind, Lord Chaitanya is so kind. They know that our position is so degraded, so fallen. So they've given us the highest, that is the Hare Krishna mantra. King Pṛthu and others derived all the necessities of life from the earthly planet by performing great sacrifices. Now, this Sankirtana movement has already been started by the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. People should take advantage of this great sacrifice and join in the society's activities. Then there will be no scarcity. If Sankirtan Yagya is performed, there will be no difficulty, not even in industrial enterprises. Therefore, this system should be introduced in all spheres of life, social, political, industrial, commercial, etc. Then everything will run very peacefully and smoothly. So Prabhupada is pointing out that since this is the Sankirtana is the sacrifice for this age, we should do the Sankirtan. And then all the spheres of our life can run smoothly. Social, political, industrial, commercial, everything. Uhu sarva rasanadya.
Uhu sarva rasanatya.
Shiradadi annago rasan.
Shiradadi anago rasan.
Taravo bhuri varshamana.
Taravo bhuri varshmana.
Prasuyanta madhuchyuta.
Prasuyanta madhuchuta.
The flowing rivers supplied all kinds of tastes, sweet, pungent, sour, etc. And very big trees supplied fruit and honey in abundance. The cows, having eaten sufficient green grass, supplied profuse quantities of milk, curd, clarified butter, and similar other necessities. If rivers are not polluted and are allowed to flow in their own way, or sometimes allowed to flood the land will become very fertile and able to produce all kinds of vegetables, trees, and plants. You see, now what we do is we dump a lot of our waste in the rivers and the sea. And that's where the problem comes also. The word rasa means taste. Actually, all rasas are tastes within the earth. And as soon as seeds are sown in the ground, various trees sprout up to satisfy our different tastes. So the taste is in the earth. That's what we are hearing now. Because the fruits, the vegetables, they have different tastes to satisfy our urge for these tastes. For instance, sugarcane provides its juices to satisfy our taste for sweetness. And oranges provide the juices to satisfy our taste for a mixture of the sour and the sweet. Similarly, there are pineapples and other fruits. At the same time, there are chilies to satisfy our taste for pungency. Although the earth's ground is the same, different tastes arise due to different kinds of seeds. So something to think about. No? The earth is the same. The soil is the same, but the different seeds, and those different seeds produce different fruits or vegetables to give us this different kind of a taste. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 7.10, Bijam Mam Sarva Bhutanam. I am the original seed of all existences. Therefore, all arrangements are there. So it's Krishna's arrangement that he has created so many different kinds of seeds, so many different tastes for us.
One question. Sorry. One question. Yeah. Hare Krishna. So now there's abundance, is it? Like of everything, and also like the rivers flowing. There's no. It's not polluted. It's all due to the Ashmaved Yajna.
Yeah, everyone milked the earth. Yeah. At that
So it's all
time, everything has become good now. The
no,
earth
everything
allowed.
is because of the Yajna.
Yeah, Pṛthu Maharaj was saying no to the earth, I'm going to otherwise tear you to pieces. So she allowed everyone to take in abundance whatever they needed.
So then how about the Surabhi cows? You mean they're there now? Because
No.
Surabhi cows are only right and this in the Vaikunt, right? Planets.
Yeah.
So that's
In
why I
the
was just
Vaikuntha.
wondering. Yes, yeah.
Right now, where we have Surabhi cows, maybe those special personalities who are still living in the, there are some pure devotees who are still living high up in the Himalayas where we can't even approach them. Maybe they have one too, Surabhi cows, like we hear in the stories that who
No,
had
because
one
it's
Surabhi.
mentioned here also, na? So that means it was
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Earlier they used some of these great personalities, the great sages used to have these
Oh,
Surabhi cows.
Kamadenu, right?
Kamadenu. Yeah, yeah. And when Krishna came, all his cows were Surabhi cows.
Okay.
When
So the
Krishna
cows
came,
came. Yeah. So when
yeah,
Krishna came down, so even the Surabhi cows came.
yeah,
Oh, oh.
yeah. So then, and as stated in Isopanishad Purnam Idam, complete arrangements for the production of all the necessities of life are made by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So it's Krishna who is making these arrangements for us. He's the one who's providing us all these different tastes, the air that we can breathe, the sun, the moon, the rain. All these arrangements are made by Krishna. We didn't come. We cannot manufacture even one seed. What do things say of a full tree? We cannot manufacture one seed also in the laboratory. We may say, oh, not yet, but maybe down the road we will. But it's not possible. It's only Krishna who can. So people should therefore learn how to satisfy the Yagya Purush, Lord Vishnu. So that's our duty. Krishna is providing everything for us. So it's our duty to also satisfy him, to serve him. Otherwise, we are just taking from him. Then where is the reciprocation? Now, in a relationship is sweeter when there is reciprocation. Indeed, the living entity's prime business is to satisfy the Lord because the living entity is part and parcel of the Lord. Thus, the whole system is so arranged that the living entity must do his duty as he is constitutionally made. Without doing so, all living entities must suffer. That is the law of nature. So it is our duty to revive our Krishna consciousness because we are part and parcel of Krishna. The words Tarava Bhuri Varshamana indicate very luxuriantly grown big body trees. The purpose of these trees was to produce honey and varieties of fruit. In other words, the forest also has its purpose in supplying honey, fruits, and flowers. Unfortunately, in Kali Yuga, due to an absence of yajna, there are many big trees in the forests, but they do not supply sufficient fruits and honey. We can see that. Because when we are hearing all these descriptions, the trees are giving so much beautiful flowers, lots of fruits. But we see it's true, there are so many trees, but there are very few trees which bear flowers and fruits. Thus, everything is dependent on the performance of yajna. The best way to perform yajna in this age is to spread the Sankirtana movement all over the world. Yare dekha tare kaha Krishna Upadesh. Lord Chaitanya says, on my order, each and every one of you become guru and give this message of Krishna to everyone. Sindhavo Ratna Nikaran,
Sindhavo Ratna Nikaran,
Girayo Annam Chaturvedam,
Girayo Annam Chaturvedam,
Upayanam Upajaru,
Upayanam Upajaru,
Sarve Loka Sapalaka.
Sarve Loka Sapalaka.
King Pṛthu was presented with various gifts from the general populace and predominating deities of all planets. The oceans and seas were full of valuable jewels and pearls, and the hills were full of chemicals and fertilizers. 4 kinds of edibles were produced profusely. As stated in Isopanishad, this material creation is supplied with all the potencies for the production of all necessities required by the living entities, not only human beings, but animals, reptiles, aquatics, and trees. We do not have to import the seeds from another planet. It's not that, we need the seed to bring the seed from sun planet, we need to get the oxygen from somewhere else. No. The earth has everything what we need for our maintenance, for our sustenance. The oceans and seas produce pearls, coral, and valuable jewels so that fortunate, law-abiding people can utilize them. Similarly, the hills are full of chemicals so that when rivers flow down from them, the chemicals spread over the fields to fertilize the four kinds of foodstuffs. These are technically known as charya, those edibles which are chewed, leya, those which are licked up, chusya, those which are swallowed, and peya, those which are drunk. So there are 4 kinds of foods. Food that we chew, foods that we lick, foods that we swallow, and the foods that we drink. Yeah, does that make sense? You can give a few examples if you want.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, licked up. What is that?
Lick, pickles. Pickles are licked.
Oh, okay. Like drunk, okay, soups.
Yeah, soup.
Yeah.
Yeah, swallow. What could be swallowing?
Mm.
I'm not sure what is swallowing now. If
Yeah.
soup is drunk, then what do you think?
Sugarcane.
John, sugarcane.
Khichdi. The
Khichdi.
soft
Oh,
khichdi.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a good one. Right. That's right. Thank you. So, yeah, we have all of them then.
Mm.
And also what is licked is, you remember the ice creams or
Yeah,
the
good.
gola,
Yeah.
okay. Gola also, kulfi, all that can be licked too. So every morning we sing the prayer, to the Guru, that he's offering these 4 kinds of foodstuffs to the Supreme Lord in the Guru Ashtakam. Chaturvedashi Bhagavad Prasada. That's these 4 kinds of foodstuffs he's offering to Lord Krishna. Shall we try to read this? Okay. Pṛthu Maharaj was greeted by the residents of other planets and the presiding deities. They presented various gifts to the king and acknowledged him as the proper type of king by whose planning and activities everyone throughout the universe could be happy and prosperous. So we heard earlier that Pṛthu Maharaj was the first one to plan the cities and towns. Before that, there was not much planning. It is clearly indicated in this verse that the oceans and seas are meant for producing jewels, but in Kali Yuga, the oceans are mainly being utilized for fishing. Shudras and poor men were allowed to fish, but the higher classes like Kshatriyas and Vaishyas would gather pearls, jewels, and coral. All the poor men would catch tons of fish. They would not be equal in value to one piece of coral or pearl. So this is what the oceans were for, to get the pearls and the jewels from them. In this age, so many factories for the manufacture of fertilizers have been opened. But when the personality of Goddess is Godhead is pleased by the performance of yajnas, the hills automatically produce fertilizing chemicals which help produce edibles in the fields. Everything is dependent on the people's acceptance of the Vedic principles of sacrifice. So, because we don't want to accept the Vedic principles of sacrifice, then, we try to rectify the situation uh, by some chemical or something, and in doing so, we create another problem for ourselves because we don't want to be God conscious. We don't want to accept that everything is provided by God. So we should also offer sacrifices to the Lord. And because of that, then this whole cycle, pollution, global warming, shortages, whatever, we have so many things. So are there any comments or questions?
Yeah, it's well explained. Yeah, that when we are not doing the sacrifice, why will we get, this?
Yeah,
Mm.
right. No, we are not doing our part, but we just expect.
Yeah, and we expect everything.
Then we cry and we complain.
Mm.
Mm. Yeah, thank you. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhaktavinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.